Hello traders, Mike Mohebi here. Today is 12th of September. It's 10 to 6 a.m. in Melbourne, Australia. As you can see, 5:52. And it's still 11th of September in Melbourne, in London and New York. It's about an hour left, 67 minutes left to the market closed on New York session. So we had a very amazing day. Alright, let's start from the first actually. This is oil. Oil dropped yesterday, if you remember, this big candle, but it's just gaining back that fall today. And we just wait. There's no signal in oil. We just wait. Maybe that movement is close to this, something like this. You remember here? You look at this one, it went down and then came back again, but it dropped again and it came up again and it dropped again. That's what oil does, one up, two down, two up, one down, something like that. You look at here. So we just wait. This is no signal for us. This is gold gap down. Amazing. So this shows that this resistance line here is very strong, and it holds. The gold tried to break through this, but it could, but that's kind of a false break. We call it false break in price action trading. I'm trying to put together a course about the price action, because that's probably the best course that you can have, trading without indicators, only by the price chart. That's very amazing. So if you have a gap here, this gap must be filled. I don't know. Probably according to the technical analysis, this gap must be filled. The gap is about 100 pips, but the market doesn't seem to like to fill out this gap. So at the moment, you see there's another gap here. There was last week, but the market filled it up, up almost close to fill it up, and then came back again. Something like that. Maybe this one, I don't know, maybe next day we have a very big candle here. It fills out that gap and then comes back again. So that's how it is. Okay, let's draw as we normally do, a Fibonacci of this pin bar. In one day, actually, the market moved about more than half of the trade that we must have. So if you had a trade up there, which we normally don't do, that was a Friday up there, and this one, if you have a trade here, probably you would be in about 200 pips per profit. But yeah, it's gonna, our analysis is that it's gonna go close to, after this 261, close to this moving average. This 21 moving average is a kind of a dynamic resistance, right? Moving averages are dynamic support and resistances. So if this price goes down after this 26.1.8 Fibonacci level, it's gonna touch this 21 moving average, and then we wait to see what happens. If the market breaks under that, probably we have a downtrend started, but at the moment this is a retrace for us. But you can trade a small profit here. Even I don't, but you can, if your analysis lets you. Silver is the same, gap down. We have a bearish candle. It's going down at the moment. Probably you will get another chance to buy physical gold and silver. This is silver versus Australian dollar. It tried to break this flag, but it couldn't. It gapped down. Silver is the same in all the world. It just depends on the currency that we're comparing it against to see what it does and how it moves. So silver is one commodity, right? It moves the same in the whole world. It depends on the currency. If the currency goes, it gets stronger, the silver is gonna drop. That's the analysis. GBP USD, if you remember this pin bar, it filled out 423 very amazingly, and now we have a pin bar. This pin bar, we have some confluences. You see, this is a resistance area, resistance zone here. what I normally do, I insert a shape, a triangle as a where is it? You go to insert shapes, rectangle. Sorry, it's a triangle. Zoom out, nothing happening. Now you can get like that and draw a rectangle like this close to that area. That's gonna be your, I define a zone by this rectangle here, okay? So that anywhere close to this, between this or maybe top of that, it's gonna be my resistance zone. So I expect the price does something when it gets close to this area, this zone. You can put two resistance lines, one there and one at the bottom, but that's gonna be too many lines if you're gonna do that, okay? Just draw as a zone, like I do it again in another area. For example, there, okay? You draw a zone like that. You see anywhere between these two, top and bottom of this rectangle here, close to that, and this one, it's gonna be a zone. We call it event zone, okay? Normally traders call it event zone because something happens when the price gets close to this area. So you can have these kind of things. There are some indicators as well. I've seen it, I've used some of them, but this one is the default one that the MetaTrader has, is probably the best. There are some automatic ones, very fancy ones. You can find them. Draw a rectangle, search for Google for MetaTrader indicators, you find them. If I have some in my indicator bank, I will upload it here. But yeah, this is a zone that we have at the moment on top there. So the price, as you can see, reacted to that. You have a pin bar here. Let's see how far we expect the price drops. Okay, this one is fulfilled. Okay, done. So we delete that. That's done, and a new move is starting. So between 261.8 and 423.6 Fibo level, these two, it's almost close to this resistance line, okay? We can, again, let's draw a rectangle here. This can be a zone. You know why? We have this top here, it didn't touch this resistance line, so we put it in a zone. It's close to the zone. All this area, nothing happened. You know, the price broke through it, came back again, broke through it, came back again. You can put your target in one of these, top and bottom of this, or between these two lines, somewhere around there, as I normally do, between 261 to 423, close to 261. Okay, so midway is there, maybe around there is the best. And I'm not saying that as I always say, I'm not trying to say that the price will move there. That's the expectation. Okay, we trade the probabilities. The highest probability is that the price gonna drop and it's gonna retrace close to this area. So this resistance line is our target, normally close. So if you have a trade, I'm gonna have one, see what happens. We sell, I put my stop loss on top there, and my target, come on, around that area. Okay, so we have a confluence of signals here. Okay, this is the target that I put. So let's move to the next one. That's enough. If this is GBP USD, and I'm expecting the market drops during next days because USD is getting stronger, as we expect in Euro USD and the gold and silver. So GBP USD gonna drop, depends on the GBP now. EuroCAD again continue to move down. It tried to bounce up, it couldn't, it moved down, it touched this area. Again, this is an event area. You can see this, we have this resistance line is touched by the previous, probably about, yeah, mid-July. Now it's mid-September, so it's about 2 months ago. market is dropping. If we had a position, I had a position, I think, in this one, but I got my target fulfilled around this area and I'm out. I had probably about 200 pips. Next one, Gbp Chf. This one, if you remember, we analyzed this chart. It was fluctuating a lot and it was stuck under this resistance line here. So, and we had this big doji candle, and the doji candle is a sign that the market is deciding, trying to decide which way it's gonna go. That's what they push it higher. The buyers push the price higher, the sellers push the price down, and they try to decide which way is stronger. And suddenly something happens and the market gaps up. See this gap here? It's about 30 pips, not big, but still it shows that suddenly the buyers got stronger and they pushed the price higher. 1 day move, it's about 120 pips. That's if you had a position according to this pin bar that we analyzed about 2 weeks ago, you would be out. This is the target, right? Well, our target would be close to this area, still a little bit left for that target, but this one is just broke this resistance on top, so it's gonna move for at least a couple of days, I think. So maybe tomorrow you're gonna have a very good profit and it's gonna hit your target if you have the target close to this resistance line. So we just wait and see what happens to Gbp Chf. Euro GBP. I drew this, well, I deleted my arrow. I drew this arrow probably about, I think, 2 weeks ago. And as you can see, this moved very beautifully. According to that pin bar, your target should be hit probably about last Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday. But yeah, still it's moving down, Euro GBP, and we expect this is a very strong resistance line here. We expect the market does something. If it's not that strong, if it's strong, it's gonna continue move down close to this area. This is again a event area, a zone, resistance zone, support zone. No difference. So you hit the top bottom of this. To the top of this, you can draw a rectangle. Let me do it. I don't want to fill out my charts with all those sort of lines and things, but just for the matter of showing you how you can do it. This is how you can draw a rectangle. This is an event area. We're expecting the market that goes down up to this area and does something here. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. This one is again broke this resistance line here. We drew this about 2 weeks ago. We had a big pin bar. That's a sign of a buy entry. You would be out by the moment because your target should be close to that resistance line and above this 261.8 Fibo. That would be about 220 pips profit. AUD JPY is moving again. This big pin bar shows that the market's gonna go up, and the market broke this resistance here, small resistance, and it's moving up. I'm gonna open a position, buy. My target, my stop loss is always under the pin bar, under the entry candle, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put my stop loss, my target under this, not 261. 261 actually is very high. Okay, I think I'm gonna put it under the other one. So we have two big resistance lines. You can see this is very strong, it's very thick, and that one is again the same, but this one in the middle one is very small. So I keep that. If I can add to this, we're gonna have that avalanche trading. I'm gonna add to this position along the way if I can get more signals. AUD USD, again we have a very big pin bar. I drew this arrow 2 days ago, and we're expecting the market drops. So yeah, 261 is there. I'm gonna open another position, sell. My target, my stop loss in the middle of that pin bar up there. My target is under 261, between 261 and 423, close to 261. Gbp Chf is moving very fast. It's almost gone. If you remember, I had a buy position here. You see this arrow? That's my close position. Let me change it to now it's more visible. See, I opened the buy position here, and I was expecting the market goes up. The market came down. I had 80 pips stop loss. It took my stop and then moves up now. So yeah, that's what happens. You know, you should expect that. I opened that position because the market came back, touched this moving average. We had a pin bar here. This pin bar is an entry signal for me, and I was late a little bit. Probably I had to enter around this area, and my stop loss should be under this pin bar, and I would be in a very good position now. But yeah, that's what happens. You know, you should be on time always. My fault was that I had to calculate the stop loss and put the stop loss under all of these pin bars, and because my position was very high, I couldn't afford to have like a 150 pips stop loss, so I put it on 80 pips, 80 to 100 pips, and that's my normal stop loss gap. So if I had entered a little bit lower and 80 pips would be under this pin bar, and I would be in a very good position. But yeah, that's the thing that I'm gonna work on in the future. I'm gonna the entry defines your the level of the trust to your trade. Okay, if you enter in a very high situation, a very high position, your stop loss gonna be the secure stop loss gonna be very big, and you just in your mind you think that if the market goes back you're gonna lose a lot, so you're gonna have a lower stop loss, a smaller stop loss, and the market with a very small gap, very small reverse movement is gonna get your stop loss and you will be out like this one. So just it's better to decrease your position size and have the proper stop loss. If you're gonna have one lot up there, make it half a lot, okay, 5 mini lots, and then put your stop loss double. You're gonna lose the same, but the chance of getting your stop loss is very low, and these things happen and you're gonna be in a very good position. Later on you can add to that position. So that's what I'm working on. I'm trying to figure out what is the best type of a stop loss and target. Target is okay now for me. I know what I should do, but the stop loss is a little bit harder to grasp. That's what I want to do. Okay, the next one, Euro USD. Euro USD is going down again. As we said, this is a double top. Both of them have these pin bars. This pin bar is 161 is fulfilled now. It's close to 261. Maybe it's a good trade, I don't know. If Euro USD, I have too many USD positions, GBP USD, AUD USD. I don't want to get into this. These are all the same. If they move the same, so if something happens to USD, all of these gonna go ballistic, so I don't want to get out. So Euro USD stays there, I don't enter. USD CHF, it came back very strongly. This big pin bar showed that the market's trying to move high, but it couldn't. It we have a double, triple bottom now. This pin bar touched this resistance line. Again, it came back in 2 weeks. It touched it again, and now it's moving higher. This is USD again. If you can see, this is USD CHF. USD is getting very strong, so it's going higher. I don't do anything. Euro AUD, nothing's happening. We still have this resistance, small resistance here, so we just wait, and yeah, it's moving into this channel. We just wait to see what happens in the next days. Okay guys, this took longer today to analyze those charts. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you really liked it, please subscribe to my channel, and you comment below whatever you think of my analysis, whatever your opinion is. Please comment in the comment section below, so I know what you think. I know what I should do. If I do better, you know, yeah, comment whatever you think of. Comment in the comment section below. And thanks so much for watching, and have a nice day.